Hello, everybody. It's Christine Ernst, the Fat Ass Cancer Bitch, coming to you from the Cozy Writing Cottage here in Sandwich, Massachusetts. It is Saturday, November 18th. Happy birthday to my mother, Mimi. She is 88. 80 fucking 8. She's kicking ass. We're going out to lunch today and a bunch of thrift shops, and then we're having her favorite dinner this evening with a few guests. I hope to live as long and as fully as my dear mother. This week I took my husband to a colonoscopy, and I heard word for word the report on it on the drive home. He's fine. This week I took my daughter Julia to the beach in the dark to collect shells and stones for an art project that she had procrastinated about. In the dark at the beach. And this week, I took my mother to a concert, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. A concert that made me think about the continuum. Think about her 88 years, my 57, our journey through the world together. Someone told me a quote that she had read recently, and it was, don't forget, I'm paraphrasing, but don't forget, your mother is doing all this for the first time, too. Which kind of hit me sideways. So, this week, I took my mother to a Glenn Miller concert. Glenn Miller, who died in 1944. My mother said on the ride down that he was shot down by Nazis over Italy along with his whole band, but we went on Wikipedia on the ride home, and he really went down on a transport plane with 64 other strangers over the English Channel in bad weather. The plane was never found. But his band persists, playing all his greatest, enduring, timeless, really, hits since then. Seriously, these were world-class musicians that we saw. All men, except for the obligatory and very good girl singer named Jenny, who somehow channeled the very quality, the tone, the timbre, the blonde, white, red, lipstick, lithe loveliness of America's sweetheart in 1940. The band leader was slick, maybe 30, with several saxophone solos and a few very fine vocals too, clearly used to entertaining very, very old people, so had a practiced, folksy Americana smarm in his delivery. Well, folks, I'd like to welcome you all to our little concert here that we have prepared for you tonight. In short, it was as if the Glenn Miller Orchestra had time traveled to a dingy community art space in Harwich, Massachusetts. Now, this band has other legit gigs, a punishing tour schedule, like 250 days out of the year in major, swanky venues all over the country. So how they ended up on Cape Cod, off of Exit 10, in a former middle school auditorium with no sound mixer or even stage light. Indeed, the house lights stayed up for the whole concert. It was weird, and they really need to talk to their booking manager, but oh my God, they were so good. I was the youngest in the house by 30 years. It was like the opposite of going to the Taylor Swift movie. No one was screaming the lyrics or dressed all in sparkles or leaping out of their seats. Leaping was basically out of the question here. Imagine instead a packed theater of 85-year-olds bundled up for a November night out. Their white heads swaying as one in time with String of Pearls, toe-tapping, cane jiggling, finger-snapping, or sort of bopping along to Chattanooga Choo-Choo. And the only thing they shouted was, Pennsylvania 65000. They even got the Pennsylvania 65000 part right. The guy in front of us, easily 90, sat next to his wife and slapped his knee, her arm, the arm of the chair, the back of the seat in front of him to the rhythm of each song, turning to her after the first few bars in delight, in sheer delight. Giggling and laughing, to recognize the number, to hear the music of his youth. During Tuxedo Junction, this man got out his phone and launched the camera and set it to video and filmed it. He had a tremor and his hands shook too much, and his wife leaned over and held his hand steady. Sidebar, did Steve Jobs ever have an inkling that 90-year-old people would use his iPhone to film a band playing music from 79 years ago? There was a 20-minute intermission at 8:15, and I thought for sure the place would empty, with folks leaving early, but they all came back and swayed and tapped and jiggled and snapped and bopped and filmed right through the whole second half, and an encore, standing in a cheering ovation when it was over. Also to get their coats on. Now, I knew all of the music. Every piece they played a standard, calcified into our culture, iterated on the radio, in film, on television, in elevators and malls and supermarkets, everywhere, as likely to occur in my soothing jazz dinner party Spotify mix as in the Muzak at my dentist's office. But here were the people who had heard it first. Most of them were kids and teenagers in 1944. My mother was 9. She has loved this music her entire life. She lamented on the ride home that she left her collection of Glenn Miller 45s in the lounge at nursing school in 1956, and it got stolen. Will Taylor Swift fans be attending tribute concerts in 79 years? In 2102? What a jarring date. 2102. What music, what song, what part of our culture will hold up? What will persist? Endure. What will Julia be bopping to when she is 93 in 2102? Will she deck herself out in spangles and friendship bracelets? What concert will her daughter take her to? What will be the soundtrack of her life? Ah. So the continuum, where we fit, how we flow in it, fascinating. I went to that concert kind of not expecting to enjoy myself. It was a nice night out with my mom because it's her birthday today. But it was very moving. It was really sort of beautiful. I'm still processing it, obviously. We all have a busy week coming up. Thanksgiving is Thursday. We're having 16 or 20 people to our house on Thanksgiving Day for dinner in my husband's sculpting studio, which we will turn into a, I hope, magazine-worthy dinner party spread. It's a potluck. Everyone contributes. It's a lot of fun. And then the next day, we are having a wedding shower for my niece. Remember the wedding dress that we shopped for back in the spring? We're having a wedding shower for her the day after Thanksgiving, and it has a Lord of the Rings theme. I'm going to dress up as Bilbo Baggins. Michael will be Gandalf. My mother is making deviled eggs that look like the Eye of Sauron. And Michael's also constructing a 3-foot tall volcano for the True Ring toss game. So we're going to have a lot of fun with it, and I will probably write about that for next week. There's going to be so much material in this coming week. So I hope you have as much fun. I hope you enjoy the weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Come and see my holiday shows November 30th at the Cultural Center at 7 p.m. and December 1, 2, and 3 at Wellfleet Harbor Actors Theater. December 1 and 2 is at 7, December 3 at 4. And I'm also performing for Yule for Fuel on December 9th at Wellfleet Harbor Actors Theater. And fingers crossed there may be a cavalcade for Christmas again this year. So wait to hear about that. This year it's Fat Ass Cancer Bitch, the holiday edition. I'll be reading all of my holiday work that I don't get a chance to perform too much. So come and see me, or just tune in next week, or come to the cottage and have a cup of tea with me. Thanks so much for listening. You're beloved. Come as you are. You can see that. Come as you are. Come as you are. And there it is too. You are beloved. Also, of course, bite me. Mwah! I am so grateful for all of you.